Hey painting pals, welcome back to Mandy's Minis. And today I have a very important question for you. What the heck are you doing watching me? Because I just watched another video from Jose Da Vinci on Instagram, and he gave a great tutorial on how to do these space marines fast and easy. And you can see I've already started one, and look at how good that looks. Way better than a zenithal. Today I'm going to show you the techniques he did, because also he doesn't speak English very well, which is not a knock on him. It's not his first language. He doesn't live in the US, but he is amazing and you can learn so much from him regardless. I am glad you're here, and I am glad you're watching, and I am happy to share this information. And maybe, you know, you can't watch his videos for some reason, so this may get the information out, but I don't want anyone to think I'm taking any credit for how to do this, because not me. But this is awesome. So this is also all airbrush. Not all airbrush, but it starts with the airbrush. So we've got our miniature primed, and now all we're gonna do is hit the spots we want the highlights to be. So if you've seen some of my videos, I have my little test piece here that I just keep using over and over again to test, to make sure I've got the right consistency, to make sure I've got the right thing. A lot of people use their hands. I don't like that. I'm a messy enough painter. Now I use an Iwata HPBH. Yes, I can read, which I absolutely love. And I got this because Sergio Calvo recommends this one, or at least he was when I was part of his patron. I love this because I can control how far back the trigger goes. And you can see I have it set so that it really doesn't go back very much. Why? Because I am trigger happy. I have to push it all the way back. I cannot control myself. That does not work. Then you just get the paint going all over everything, and it's terrible. I can also control the air pressure with this control here, and I also have a control here where I can control the air pressure. So there's like nothing, and I just have it set so tiniest little bit of air pressure is going out. Compressor set to 225, so very little. Now the thing about, especially when you're doing white, because I just have titanium white ink in here, is it dries very fast at the end of the tip if you don't have a lot of pressure. So it is very frustrating. So just to let you know. But if you look where I'm painting, I'm going to hit right here, this square right there. I can get just little teeny tiny dots. And notice I'm nice and close to it. Not close enough to make it splatter too much, but I can then get a very, very detailed pinpoint. Also want to shout out to Gilbert Montdragon. He actually taught me how to airbrush and was very fabulous and helpful, and I love him. He's more of a unknown artist. He's not as big of a name as the other two in the miniature painting community, but he is amazing nonetheless, and so generous, and very much helped me get into miniature painting in general, just by teaching me the airbrush. So what he says of it is you can paint a freckle on an ant's butt. Let's go ahead and do that, and we're going to just hit the highest points. I'm doing a light scheme where the light source is coming from the top right. That's my standard. I know a lot of people do the top left. Whatever you like, it doesn't really matter, but we're going to just then do these little tiny highlights. Okay, we've got it nice and bright right there. But then we fade off into our shadow area. And we're gonna hit all the way around, just doing these little teeny tiny, very small, very light taps. And we're establishing our highlights in this step, rather than doing a zenithal and building up. And I'm gonna do a video on highlights and shadows at some point. Sorry, guys, there's just so much to learn and to go over for improving your painting, but I can't get videos out fast enough, which is one of the wonderful reasons we're excited. This year we are trying to get to a video a week. So that's one of the main reasons we brought Taylor on, so she could help us with that, and she's been fabulous, and we're very excited to have her joining us. She's helped make our videos so much better, I think. And I'm sure you guys think so too, based on how our subscriber count is just growing massively. So very excited about that. All right, now this leg is further back and far more shaded, so I'm not gonna take it as high. You wanna take it a little higher than that? And now, as it dries, it kind of darkens, so we're losing some of the highest highlights. So I'm gonna go back through and reinforce just little tiny bits that I really wanna bring out and trying to make it smaller. Now, I am not great with an airbrush. I'm pretty decent, but not an expert by any means, which is why I don't have an airbrushing video out. As I get better, I will feel more comfortable putting it out, but as of right now, just not as confident, and, well, I hate to give you guys wrong information, so... And I'm adjusting the settings every so often when it gets a little too stuck, because a little more pressure will help it push forward. And even back here, because, you know, these guys are wearing metal suits, so we do want it to look more like metal. And metal always has some kind of an extreme highlight. There we go. And now we're looking a lot more like metal. I feel like it keeps getting stuck. I'm gonna come back here rather than risk it on the model. See, still nothing's coming out. So what I'm gonna do is open it up quite a bit. Whatever might have been clogging it should have gotten pushed out with that higher pressure. And now I'm gonna go back down to the lower pressure and test. And it is coming out again. Very faintly, very thinly, just like I want. There we go. And a better painter would have that with a nice straight line, but, you know, close enough. We've got a great look going on there. And we've got to do the back side too, so let's make sure we get that done. You can use like a retarder medium to slow down the drying time if you'd like. I do have one, but I don't ever use it. I'm not sure why I don't. I've got no good reason, especially since, like, I own it. It's right over there on my shelf. But I guess I just would rather pull out my hair than pull out another medium. Not something I recommend, but hey, that's what I tend to do. So, you know, sometimes as we're doing this stuff, we end up thinking all sorts of crazy things that aren't true. But I mean, how many times have you thought that you suck? Or, you know, because you're comparing yourself to someone else. We all say, oh, don't compare yourself to someone else, blah, blah, blah. It's easier said than done. We all do it. The important thing is that you keep going at it, keep trying, and keep having fun, because that's all that really matters. And if you're enjoying yourself while you're doing this, then you are having a successful model. I don't care what the end result looks like. As long as you enjoyed yourself, it's a success. And there we are. You can see those are looking pretty cool. I actually have 3 more to do, and then I'll be back for the next step, which is actually a brush step, and then we go back to the airbrush for the final step. So I'll be back in about 45 minutes, which will be about 30 seconds or less for you. Okay, I'm back, and as you can see, that step was done. So now we're gonna move on to the next step. Here, what we're gonna do is edge highlighting. So I've got my nice detail brush with the white on it. Lots of water so that it flows really nicely, and we're going to just pick up all those edges so that they can really shine. Oops, it helps if I do this on camera. And also a few other places where we're going to pick up a little bit more light that we weren't able to get in smaller areas with the airbrush. The other thing I do want to say, I was kind of thinking about what I thought. I'm sure that this was not Jose's invention. There's lots of people who paint like this. Francesco Farabi, one of my all-time favorites, who I've had the pleasure of taking classes with, he paints all his stuff pretty much this way. There's a lot of artists who do this, but I do like giving credit where credit's due, and Jose was the one who inspired me to do it. And honestly, this is almost like an exact mock-up of what he did. He was doing red space marines, I'm doing ultramarines, for a commission. Oh, and you can see I'm also reinforcing the brightest highlights just to really make sure we get that shine there. Again, I just want to give credit where credit's due. You know, I haven't really come up with most of my techniques. A lot of the recipes, yes, but the techniques, not so much. You know, I've also heard Marco Francioni or something like that. He's got a great YouTube channel, and he paints like this. I've seen a video where he actually does a similar tutorial, just not on Space Marines. But especially since this is a direct one-on-one ripoff, well, practically, at least the steps are. I don't want to take credit for that. Also, we can come in and we can give little scratches and nicks. All right, so you can see where that's already starting to look pretty good. Maybe a few more scratches up here, scratches and dings. And of course, carry up that edge highlighting. I'm gonna continue on with this all the way around these guys. I feel like you kind of get the idea, and I've explained the edge highlighting really well in my recent video on mirrors. You can always check that one out, and then I will be back with the final step. Okay, so I am back and I finished all the edge highlighting and little scratches and such. And now I'm going to airbrush on just a small little glaze of the blue, ultramarine blue, of course, to give them the right coloring. And this is kind of like a slap chop, where we're using the underpainting of the first two steps we did to create the highlights and shadows in the model and to put them there. It's just instead of doing it afterwards, like we typically do on this channel, we did those steps first, and now we're just coloring it in. Just a little different way of painting. Personally, I kind of like how it looks. I think it came out very well. I suppose I should paint all of it. That's how they came out. And here is them completely finished, and I hope you enjoyed this one. I hope you picked something up, learned something. You can go support the creators that I mentioned. They all have YouTubes and Instagram and things like that, and they're wonderful painters that I learn a lot from. And, you know, I might end up taking this up a little bit higher on the highlights. You'll see if I did. I thank you so much for going on this journey with me, trying this out. I do like it. I think that I'll keep doing it again and get even better at it. Till then, I just want to say thank you so much for watching. Special thank you to our patrons. We absolutely love you and appreciate all you do for us. Very much enjoy you being in our community. And until next time, have fun and keep creating.